This is Dave, and today's big hairy idea is what goes around. Crazy story in this week's Torah portion. Jacob, at the end of last week's Torah portion, had dressed up in sheepskins to go into his father, who was blind, to steal the blessing designated that his father wanted to give to his older brother Esau. This was all at the request, the guidance of his mom, Rebecca. And Rebecca afterwards says to Jacob, you know what, okay, you got to get out of here because your brother's so darn mad about this, he's going to kill you. So you got to flee. Flee to my brother Lavan and maybe marry one of his daughters. And he sends him off and he flees the country and he runs to Lavan. And he meets Rachel, Lavan's youngest daughter, and totally falls in love with her. And Lavan says, okay, work for me for 7 years and then I'll give you Rachel's hand in marriage. So Jacob does, and he does a great job, such a great job that Lavan doesn't want to lose him. So he switches the brides. He has Jacob marry Leah instead of Rachel, and he only realizes this when he wakes up in the morning and it's Rachel and it's Leah there, not Rachel. So he's totally outraged. He's been totally hoodwinked. He's very upset at his father-in-law, but you know what? Lots of people don't like their in-laws. But Jacob's got a bigger problem as well, because he might not like his in-laws, but he's now married to this woman, Leah, and what type of person is she? I mean, she was a willing accomplice to marrying somebody that was actually designated for her sister? Is this the type of woman that he wants to be building a family with, building a relationship with, building a future with? And he's all distraught, and he accosts her of this. He's like, you know, who are you to go ahead and do this to me? Just what type of person are you? And her response, what are you talking about? Me? I'm just like you. Don't you all act all high and muddy and say, oh, look how I was deceived, when you dressed up in sheepskins to go into your blind father and steal a blessing designated for your brother. Well, did I willingly go along with this? Yes, but so did you. And you know what? Don't think I'm a horrible person for doing the exact same things that you did. Really? You might have thought that you're this, pure, amazing, sinless person who should wind up with my pure little younger sister. But really, you and me, we're cut from the same cloth. Don't delude yourself into thinking that you're better than you are and that I'm worse than I was. We did the exact same thing in the exact same circumstances. Both of our parents came from the same family. They learned the same tricks. And we both were willing accomplices to what they did. And you and me, we're destined for each other. Okay, I know your heart goes to my sister, but we're going to build a future together. And in fact, we see that, half the tribes that come out of Jacob, the 12 tribes that come out of Israel, the half of them come through Leah. And she is the one, not Rachel, not the love of his heart. She's the one that gets buried next to him in the cave of Machpelah, which we say she's the wife for him for all time. The one he's going to really build his future destiny with, and the one that he's buried with for eternity. Not the one his heart necessarily went out to, but the one that was really his true partner. And I think sometimes we tend to judge ourselves a bit more favorably than we judge others. You tend to look at an action that you did that might not have been the most kosher thing. You say, okay, yeah, but you know what? I had to because of these circumstances. When you look at somebody else who did the exact same thing, it's like, oh, what a low life. But you know what Leah was saying to Jacob? It's like, you know what? We did the same actions under the same circumstances. Both of our parents persuaded us to do the same thing, and it's all going to turn out for the best. Really, I'm the wife for who you really are. Rachel might be the wife for who you think you are, who you want to be, who you'd like to be. But you and me, we're all the same. And it's interesting to think just how the actions of our lives, they come around. The good things we do and the not so good things we do, they often come back to bite us, to reward us, depending on the circumstances. But what we've done is ultimately who we are.